Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody this not so fun Thursday? The weather's really, really cruddy here today. I don't know how it is for y'all, but it has been storming really bad. So, as I said on Tuesday's live, sorry, I wanted to do a live Q&A over HTV. Now, this is going to be all about the questions you wanted to ask over HTV. So you can ask anything you want to over application, over washability, over anything that you want to, over any type of brand. So you can ask any question that you want to, because y'all know that vinyl is more of my favorite thing, but HTV is really what holds my heart. Now, if you have questions about anything else, feel free to ask, but this is mainly a Q&A over HTV because, on my Tuesday video, I got a question over holographic HTV over time and temperature because someone was asking about whenever it craters, and I was like, well, whenever it craters, I can already tell you off the top, right off the top, that is whenever it gets too hot, that you either, one, you pressed it for too long, or there is a problem with your press or with your iron where it has a hot spot because it got too hot. That's whenever it looks like the surface of the moon. And I thought about it and I was like, doing a Q&A like this would be a great way for me to answer questions over the things that y'all have had issues with and to really find out the things that you may have questions over. Because, with as long as I've done this and as many mistakes as I have made, because y'all know, if there is a mistake to be made, I have probably made it, that I can probably answer the question. So I figured that this would be a good way to do it. Now, I know that this is probably a little early for some of you, and maybe not. But I figured that this was going to be, again, a good way to do this. And I've had a lot of experience, not only with different types of HTV, but different types of heat presses. I've done it with home irons. I've done it with the easy presses and other styles of it. So, I've played with just about everything, or at least that's what it feels like, under the sun. So we can jump into things. Again, questions, comments, concerns, you can leave them down below for Facebook. Now, if you're on Facebook, I will say this, you do have to enable to allow StreamYard to share your name. Okay, so Kimlin, your vinyl doesn't stay on your t-shirt after washes. What may be the reason? Now, there are several reasons why it may not stay on the shirt. One, are you washing it before you apply your vinyl? That's one thing. If you wash your shirts before you apply vinyl, one, I don't recommend it. Two, if you wash it beforehand, make sure you never, ever, ever, ever use fabric softener. Fabric softener messes with the adhesion of vinyl. It always, always does. So never use fabric softener with HTV. Two, pressure is going to be one of your biggest things that's going to mess with your adhesion of your vinyl. So people always think with HTV that it's all about time and temperature, but it's not. HTV is going to be time, temperature, and pressure. So you want to make sure that you're following not only your time and temperature. So if your manufacturer guidelines say 315 for 15 seconds with a medium pressure, you are going to want to follow those guidelines. And if you're using, say, a specialty material Thermoflex Plus or a Caesar Easyweed, which are, your basic, well, not really basic, those are, the top known as far as your everyday vinyls, you're going to see the texture of your shirt through your vinyl. And that's going to be one of the easiest ways to know that your vinyl is adhered. And I do have a video showing that, where you can see the texture of your shirt through it. That's going to be the difference. That's going to be your game changer. And it requires more pressure if you're doing it by hand than what you think. And I do have a video applying it with a home iron as well. And when you do it, you put your body weight behind it and you're going to white knuckle it. You put some weight behind it. Hopefully that makes sense. So you're going to put pressure behind it. And what I mean when I say white knuckle it, where you're grabbing it and you will see your knuckles. You see how my knuckles are changing color? That you're grabbing it and putting some weight behind it. That's going to be the easiest way to do it. But you will see the texture of the shirt showing. And again, I have a video showing the easiest way to make sure to see that your threads are showing through. Easiest way. Now, Charlotte, my favorite HTV is Thermoflex Plus. That's my favorite basic HTV. I use it all day, every day. And I have a video showing you, I have a wash test video showing 50 washes with Caesar Easyweed versus Thermoflex Plus, because again, those are the two in the industry that are probably the most well-known. Caesar Easyweed is probably more well-known. They have an amazing marketing team. And why? That's why I did the 50 wash test video. I like the way it washes a whole lot better. So just to kind of give you a heads up, Thermoflex Plus, again, my favorite. And they're linked in my description box, because you can order a free sample from them to test out for specialty. I don't think Caesar does that, but so you can kind of compare. I just like the finish on it a lot better too. It has a true matte finish. But I would definitely always recommend for people to try both. But again, Thermoflex Plus, definitely my favorite. I think it's easier to work with. I like the washability of it. To me, it washes the best. It lasts the longest. Y'all don't even know. I washed and dried the same shirts. I think it took me like 2.5 months to finish the wash test. And it was so long. Washed, dried, took pictures of it because I wanted people to see how they held up. Because I don't see anybody else doing those types of things. You just see people apply it and you're like, oh, well, they look good. Well, everything looks good when you first apply it. I mean, let's face it. But a lot of times you don't see what everything looks like whenever you've washed it 10 times or you've washed it 15 times, because that's how things actually are in the real world. I don't wear a shirt. I personally don't wear a shirt once or twice. Exactly. I like that you don't feel it on the fabric, and I love the way that it washes and dries, because it does last after washing and drying. But again, it's my personal opinion, and unless you try things out, you don't know. But again, they're great. And I like that you can get a free sample so you can try it out for yourself. But there's also a ton of different colors. Like, let me tell you, this is Specialties book. I pulled it out so that way I would have it in case I couldn't remember like a different color or a different style for time and temperature, because I have a lot of this stuff memorized in my head, but there are certain things I forget. But like, they have so many different colors and textures and styles. It's just crazy. Crazy. And I've used them for many years, and their quality has always been the same. What heat press do I recommend? So right now, and I've tried a lot, Heat Press Nation, I have the 16, well, and it kind of depends on your price range. I have the 16 by 20 Signature Pro with the Sure Pressure, and it has an auto release, and that one's about $1,000. So that one's pretty pricey, but it does have the auto open, and I like that I can have like the exact measurement over the heat press, so I know exactly where I'm supposed to set the temperature, or not the temperature, but the pressure. But then you also have the Stahl's Hottronics Air Fusion if you're wanting to spend more. Now, without the compressor, they run about $2,500. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully I didn't lose everybody. That was StreamYard that went down. So, sorry. Okay. That was not my internet. Heat presses. Stahl's Hottronics. Again, that is a fully automatic heat press. That one runs about $2,500 without the compressor. That one, you just push the buttons. If you've watched my channel for a while, you just push the buttons, auto open, auto close. You can save different settings on it. It is a great press. We had it for about 10 years. When I stopped doing direct garment and I closed the storefront, that's when I sold it, because I didn't need that big of a heat press anymore. Actually, Charlotte, I am the one who lost signal. And it was StreamYard who lost signal. So if I lose it again, I'm sorry. Also, then we also have the Heat Press Nation, which is what I used before I got the big one that has the auto open feature. The Craft Pro 15 by 15, that one's about $500 or $600. It's a great little beginner heat press, and is a little bit on the pricier side, but has a pull-out drawer made really, really well. Use that thing. I still have it, still use it. It's a great press. And then there's also, the Tessie. That one's still going strong 5 years later. That one's about $200 off of Amazon, but I do recommend, if you get the Tessie, to get a warranty to go along with it. And I am testing out some other ones. I actually have a lot of them that I'm in the process of testing out. So there's that. I'm always in the process, but I don't ever recommend anything like that until I've got a lot of use out of it. Phoenix Fire. Phoenix is a great brand of heat press as well. So there's a lot of different ones. Cricut, their Easy Press is pretty good. Also, HTV Ront, they make a good easy press style. That one I've gotten a lot of use out of. So, and then I would probably recommend the HTV Ront over the Cricut Easy Press because of the price difference. The HTV Ront is about $100, actually less, versus the price difference for the Cricut. And that is because of price and price alone. I mean, I'm all about saving nickels and dimes when it comes to this stuff. If you're doing it as a hobby, there's better places to invest your money. If you're only using it for, a shirt once a month, I wouldn't recommend going and dropping $1,000 on a heat press. I'm sure, even though I have, oh no, you're fine, Charla, but hi, Four Corners. But I'm sure that it's surprising for people because, I have affiliate links and stuff like that. But I'm not one to sit there and be like, no, go buy the expensive heat presses and stuff. No. If you're only making a shirt once a month, you don't need to go buy a $5,000 heat press. You buy for what you're using it for, if that makes sense. You don't need the grand setup. That's just not what you need. Charlotte, I really haven't used it because I have used some of the cheap vinyls in the past. Now, let me say this with all the love and respect that I can. I've used cheap vinyls in the past and they haven't been amazing at all. And that is not where I invest my money. I buy good vinyl because good vinyl makes a difference. I don't buy cheap vinyl. There's a big difference. Anytime I've tried to use cheaper vinyl, it just hasn't been amazing. And I would rather have good vinyl. I will say that as honestly as possible. And I mean, they may have better quality like they may have good quality, but that's not where I'm going to spend my money. And I mean, I don't I don't have the time to take in, especially with all the things that I have, like with my health stuff and everything else going on. I don't have the time to sit there and truly test all that kind of vinyl and stuff out. And what I mean by that, for like the longevity and to put it to the test that it actually needs to be put to. And I am a stickler for testing. I don't want to recommend something, whether it be vinyl or anything like that, without it actually being put to the test. Because if I'm going to, and I also want to make sure things are, like if you're going to put something on clothing, I want to make sure it's like CSPIA compliant, which means it's safe for like baby clothing and things like that, because these are chemicals that whenever you heat them, that they're going to be safe to breathe. Because again, you want to make sure, because what a lot of people don't realize is vinyl, if it's not safe, is made from PVC, which is polyvinyl chloride, which can be very difficult on your lungs. It's very dangerous, and this is true. So you want to make sure you are not putting that on clothing that is going to be next to like a baby. So I want to make sure whatever I'm recommending is safe. So I want to make sure I have time to actually do proper research. Hopefully that makes sense. Because, again, I don't want to just recommend anything. Because it's important to me. It's important to me that I give good recommendations. But yeah. But again, those are kind of like the basics for vinyl. Now, I will say that you can get good vinyl, like if you're in a pinch. You know, I know that Hobby Lobby, Michael's, Joann's, they all carry Caesar. And if you're going to get something, don't go for Paper Studio. I've never had good luck with Paper Studio. Now, I know that other people have had good luck with Paper Studio. I haven't. Most of the people I've talked to haven't. I know other people have. But again, you can do what you want to, purchase at your discretion. But go for Caesar over Paper Studio. Cricut vinyl, I've never had good luck with. Again, go for Caesar over Cricut. Hi, Colleen. Hi, DJ Mike. But yeah, but, and if I were talking about, like, in my personal opinion, like if I were going to rank heat transfer vinyls, like if I were going to rank in my order of what I would say were like my top 5 brands of heat transfer, it would definitely be Specialty, Caesar, Stahl's, then let's see, probably B-Flex, Trying to think. I can't think of another one to put in like 5th place, because then you start getting into like private labeled stuff, and then it kind of gets confusing because then everything starts to muddy together. Because once we get into private label, everything is pretty much the same. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Probably Cricut. Because honestly, I really don't have a whole lot of experience with silhouette, because you can really never find a whole lot of silhouette. You can find more printable silhouette stuff than you can like anything basic. Pressure sensitive vinyl. Okay, so for pressure sensitive, it would either go with, okay, so pressure sensitive, I use a lot of specialty now because I order everything from specialty. Theirs are great. But if I need something that's going to be a longer lasting, I still go with Oracal. Oracal, for curved surface, I will typically go for their cast vinyl, which is going to be like their 751. Because that's when you start getting out of their calendared vinyl. Cast vinyl is whenever it's poured instead of calendar. Okay, so for adhesive vinyl, cast vinyl is a poured into to make it instead of calendared, so that it has a little bit more maneuverability. So if you can get like a 751, 951, it will stick to a bottle better. That's what they use for wraps and stuff like that. It's going to last quite a bit longer, and it'll last they're being washed a lot better. So that's what I would recommend. It's going to be a higher grade material. But yeah, 751, 951, definitely go with that. Definitely. But I would definitely go for that. Now, whenever you go to do it, here's some tips and tricks when doing adhesive on stuff like that. Make sure you round your corners. If you do anything that's super pointed, it's going to lift. Because it gets washed all the time, let it set for at least 48 hours before you try to wash anything. Always the best way to do it. The longer the adhesive sits, the more it has a chance to bond. But if you round your corners, it has less of an area to lift, just to kind of let you know. Always recommend that. Well, use a rounded font or give it a little bit of an outline that has rounded corners. Pointed corners are the worst for whenever you're wanting it to stick to a surface like that, because you got to think about it. Pointed corners, jagged, or not jagged really, but it catches. But anything that's going to have a rounded corner, it's less likely to catch. So hopefully that makes a little bit more sense. Rounded, better. Pointed, not so much. Because people are always like, oh, monogram, great. Well, monograms, why do you think monograms lift the fastest? Rounded corners, so much better. Let it sit at least 24, 48 hours. Always going to be better. Whenever you go to wash it, gentle, wash away. Don't wash towards the vinyl, wash away. These are tips and tricks. Works out so much better when you do it. And again, the longer you let it sit, the better. And pressure washing is a no-no. But once it's kind of set on there, it does last forever. It's why I like vehicle graphics. If you let it set on there properly, it will last you forever. It's like people are like, well, vinyl just doesn't last. Let me tell you, if you do it properly, it will. Because have you not seen how car graphics last they're being washed at a car wash? It does. It does. If you actually apply it properly and you tell people how to take care of it properly, it will, because trust me, we've had trucks to sit there and try to get the graphics off of that have been on there for 15 years. And once that's baked on there, oh, it is a lot. But again, it's learning rounded corners. And you want to know one of the funniest ways how we learned? It can be. It can be 4 corners, but you want to make sure it's set on there very well. And it's also going to depend on the surface that you're putting it on, because you use it on boat wraps, speedboat wraps, mind you. So, but you want to make sure it's sat on there well. And it also is going to depend on the dishwasher, because some of those dishwashers get really, really hot. And depending on how the angle of the sprayer underneath, because that's exactly what, especially like 951, that's exactly what it's made for, is to wrap boats, speedboats. We would use it to wrap, like, so where we live, they do Riverfest, and we would put graphics on boats for Riverfest, which are speedboats, like the not cigar boats, like cigarette boats. Yeah, but yeah. So yeah. But yeah, you do want to wash baby bottles by hand. You don't want to put them in the dishwasher. But yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize. There's a lot of materials that can be used for a lot more than what there's can be. But rounded corners, it's like with magnetics. If you make magnets for vehicles, it comes in a glittery pink. I don't know if it comes in a hollow shine, but I do know that Avery, or it might be 3M, will come in a wrap material. Now, what you're going to want to look for is what you need to look for baby bottles is a wrap material. If you're wanting like a hollow shine or something like that, that's going to last, is a wrap material, a vinyl wrap material for like cars. That's what's going to be able to last the longest for you. That's what's made to last on those types of surfaces. Car wrap material. That's exactly what it's made for. It's made for the curves. It's made to adhere the best to that. It's made to take the heat. It's just, that's what you're going to look for. And they make it in the coolest of cool colors, car wrap material. And actually what's kind of funny is Tech Wrap and Tech Wrap Crafts, they make, now I don't know if Tech Wrap Craft on Amazon will have it, but Tech Wrap, they have their own website. They make vinyl that is car wrap vinyl that comes in some of the coolest vinyls that you will find that will do the same kind of thing. So look up Tech Wrap, and it's like, it's either TEK or TECK wrap. So yeah, but it's car wrap material, and it's a cast vinyl, but look it up. Car wrap material. Okay, so car wrap is what they use. Okay, so has anybody, I know I'm not the only one. My husband's obsessed with cars, but for vinyl, this is the same kind of material. Fast and the Furious. If you've seen Fast and the Furious, then you've seen car wraps where you see like those really fancy looking color changing, what you think is paint jobs and all that kind of stuff. That's not paint. That is vinyl. That is car wrap vinyl. It's the same kind of stuff that you see for vinyl lettering, but it's fancier. It's also what you see whenever you see like the cars that have like their signage on it, but they're like giant flowers and all of that kind of stuff. That's a car wrap. It's just vinyl, but it's stretched and it's manipulated, so it's pretty much glued down to your car because it's sticker vinyl. It's adhesive. That's what it's made. So that's a car wrap. We're ending up talking about adhesive as well. That's okay though. So you squeegee it down just like you would a normal sticker, but a lot of times you use heat with it too, and that kind of helps it bond to your vehicle. You squeegee it down and you manipulate it around all of your curves, and that's how you get it to bond with all of those surfaces. This is why cast is important versus calendared vinyl. That's why the poured material versus the calendared. It's really, really neat if you've never seen it. And some of the people that put it on, like, it's really cool. I can do some wraps, like I can do some small stuff, and I ain't very good at it. But some people, like, watching them do like tires and wheels, and like when they do full on big printed stuff, it's really, really cool. But they do that. But the cool stuff about the material is you can do a lot with the material by itself because it is stronger than regular adhesive, and you can manipulate it more than regular adhesive. So you can use it on cups and things like that, and it bonds better. So, FYI. But you still have to let it sit and all that kind of jazz. But one of the things I was going to say is that if you do take and use or do car magnets, in case you don't know this little trick, if you do car magnets, make sure you round the corners of your magnets. Then you don't have to worry about them as much, especially if you wash your car before you stick your magnets on there. If your corners are rounded, they don't blow off. I don't know how many people bought magnets from other people, like other companies would come in and they'd be like, well, I need to get some more magnets. But how do you keep them from blowing off? Well, you got to round your corners. It's a simple thing, but make sure you round your corners. So instead of having like corners that are squared off like this, if you round them like on your iPhone, it keeps them from blowing off. Just a trick. But it's really neat. And a lot of times they have air channels in it too, so you don't get bubbles. FYI. Let's see. Karen, thank you. Mentally I'm good. I'm still having lots of health issues. Let's see. Today I only had one doctor's appointment. Yesterday I had 2 doctor's appointments and a CT scan. So, but I'm good. I'm good. We'll get it all figured out. Slowly but surely we will get it all figured out. But yeah. I don't think people realize how many different types of vinyl that there are. And I think people think that, oh, let's do sublimation, which I love sublimation, don't get me wrong. But you can only do so much with sublimation because yes, you can use certain vinyls to sublimate on, but you can only get so many looks with it. Screen printing, again, you can only get so many looks with it. With vinyls, there are so many different types and textures of adhesives, of HTVs that I don't think people realize what is actually out there. It's so crazy. And that's one of the reasons. See, that's what I'm talking about, Colleen. It's awesome. But like, I don't want it. It's like, I don't think I would ever stop doing vinyl because there's always something new that they can do with it. I haven't found a replacement that you can just print and make these textures, that you can just print and make these colors, that you can print, or there's a way to replace and make anything that is like what you get from vinyl. And yes, it can be more work, but I'm all about having something that's unique and different. And, you know, maybe that's odd. Oh, yeah, Layla's going to have the best looking bottles. I can't wait to see. Well, I'm glad you're here, Carletta. But, I mean, that's part of it, is everybody and their mama can do sublimation. But where's the unique? It's like there's always this thing where it's everybody follows the same trends, and we forget that we can do different things, that we can have different looks. And even if you do sublimation, you can mix in and add in some sparkle or add in some texture, because I think that that can be kind of cool, because you can still do that. And it doesn't mess up the sublimation. It doesn't mess up the vinyl, you know, because there's a big difference in the amount of time and temperature between sublimation and... I'm doing good, Migdalia. And you're fine. That you're late, it's okay. We had a technical difficulty in the middle of it anyway. But yeah, I mean, that there's a big difference between time and temperature and pressure for sublimation and vinyl, where you can add in some effects to make things stand out. And that in itself, especially if you're doing this to make money, that I think people forget that that is a good thing to do. Because if you're creating the same thing as everybody else, then what is going to make it where somebody's going to buy from you and not the person next to you? Oh, I'm sorry, Magdalia. That's never fun. I'm working on a sinus infection now, but that's definitely not unusual for me. But, you know, and that's one of those things that I always try to tell people whenever they're looking at this from like a business standpoint is what makes things for you different? What makes you, or what is different for you from the person next to you? What is going to make someone want to purchase from you? Your winning personality, your prices, or your uniqueness? Because that's what's going to matter. You know, if you've got something that makes you stand out, that's going to get you somewhere. And those are the important things, you know. And how do you show personality? You know, you either got to get out here in front of people face to face, whether it be on camera or sit there and talk to people, which can be nerve-wracking enough as is, or you got to figure out ways to make your product stand out from everybody else's. And if you've got a good idea for a product, someone's going to take it from you. I mean, that's business 101. You know, I wish it were different, but it is what it is. But, yeah. But I wish there was a way, I honestly do, that I wish there was a way for me to like come up and put all of the different textures of vinyls together, because there really are like so many different kinds. And I'm not talking about just from Specialty or Oracal or Caesar, or I mean, because there are so many more than that than even I could name off the top of my head. Like, if you've ever been to like a trade show before, and I'm not talking about just for like a sign show or anything like that, like any type of trade show or home and garden show or anything like that, then you would know what I'm talking about, how much stuff that you can see there that you've never seen before. Well, I've been to a bajillion sign shows and shirt shows, and like the ISS, they have a show called the ISS, which is the Imprinted Sportswear Show. And then they also have like the SGIA, which is I think that stands for like the Sign something International. I can't even remember all of what it stands for. And like they have the big machines that are like massive. I don't even know how they get these into these convention centers. It's crazy. But you'll see like all these different materials and all these different processes, and you're like, that is so cool. I wish there was a way for me to like get samples of like every single kind of different vinyls that they have there, because it would be awesome to be like, look at this, look at this, look at, I mean, because there are so many different things and it's amazing. It's absolutely mind boggling what they can do with it. And I don't even know how they make it all. Like, do you all remember the show How It's Made? I would love to see how this stuff is all made, because I think it's so cool. Or at least I think it's cool. But yeah. And there's not a way you'll ever be able to print. Like, I would invest. Like, if there was a printer. See, Colleen, this is you and me. Same wavelength. I would invest big money into a printer. Carletta. Big money into a printer that would print glitter ink. I would invest big time into a printer that would print glitter ink. I'm telling you, you know, we have printers, like they have big printers that you can get that will print like silver and gold metallics. But give me something that will give me some glitter ink. Like, give me something that gives me some real sparkle. Like, there's nothing that really does like that wow factor. Why don't they give us some wow? Exactly, Melissa. Glitter makes everything better. You know, maybe I would be more apt to be like, okay, I'll transition away from doing everything still with straight up vinyl if I had a printer that printed glitter. But there's no glitter printer. Or even just my everyday regular inkjet printer. Give me a glitter printer. I can't be the only weirdo who's like, give me glitter or give me death. Glitter does make me everything better. That's going to be my next shirt design. Give me glitter, give me death. Now I'm watching someone's going to steal it. It's like what was that? That's a quote. Well, that's a quote. Now I'm going to go look that up now. I'm going to make that now. Yes. I need to write that down so I do not forget. See, this is what I do. I think of things. So someone's going to get offended, I'm sure, but I think it's cute. I don't mind. But I think it's cute. I think it will make a cute design. And I think so. So I guess that's all that matters. But yeah, it doesn't have to be like a sublimation printer or anything like that. That would be awesome if I could get a glitter sublimation printer. But that would be awesome too for just like a regular everyday printer. Wouldn't that be just awesome just to be able to bring to your regular, like to your doctor's appointment, be like, here's my files. It's sparkles. It would make me happy. Or going to the doctor. Here's your blood report. It sparkles. Aw, I did not know. Darn it. Well, I can still make my own. It's not like I stole it because I just was literally thinking it. So, I mean, it is a popular, well, the thing is an older saying, so. It won't be their same design. And I can make my own design. I will be fine. And it's not like I'm selling anything anyway. So I should be okay. I should be fine. Anyways. Anybody have any more questions, comments, concerns over heat transfer vinyl? If not, I will try. Well, I'm not going to try. I'm going to end it here so I can work on. I started another design for Patreon. I'm going to try to finish it so I can finish the video up, so I can actually film a video instead of just knocking out lives, because I actually want to film something. I don't even want to know what you're chewing on. What are you chewing on? Shut it down. Okay. But yeah, if y'all have any other questions, comments, concerns, I do lives every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Well, sometimes. It kind of depends on my doctor's appointment schedules. But I do love doing lives. I think that they're fun. It's a good way for me to get to know y'all, y'all to get to know me. And I just think it's interesting. And I love to answer questions. And I love to spread my knowledge of vinyl, screen printing, and sublimation, because I do know a lot of random knowledge about it. But yeah, if y'all have any other questions, comments, all that kind of stuff, you can always wait till next Tuesday, or you can email me, Facebook me, Instagram, even though I really don't ever get on Instagram. And Facebook is few and far between, because social media is hard for me to get on right now with all of my appointments. Hopefully that will slow down at some point. But yeah. Oh yeah, see, Crystal, I completely understand. I'm just, it's like glitter makes everything better. Sparkles make everything better. It's just like, what do I put on the inside of t-shirts? To make it where the shirts don't move, I will either use the leftover part of heat transfer, like the sticky, or I will use, like, you can buy transfer masks to be able to use for prints, and I will use that. And it makes things easier. But I do have a video over that, Denise. It is the ultimate HTV hack. It's on my channel. Makes things so much easier. But yeah, Crystal, I completely understand. Hopefully I will get all my health stuff figured out. It will be lovely. But yeah, I will see y'all in the next one. And I do have a giveaway for when I finish the Patreon video. So y'all will need to watch that, because it's actually, I bought a machine. It is a brand new machine to give away. Because I was like, I want to do something big since I haven't done an actual real video in a while. So y'all need to watch that. And I will see y'all later. Bye.